to our new portfolio platform as in your district administrator role. First, I want to introduce you to our team. We have with us today our Senior Director, Martha Moore. Amy Floyd, our Director of Data and District Support, is here with us. She is all things TN Compass. She also works with strategic compensation. And then myself, I'm Tracy Riddle. I am the Director of Educator Effectiveness, and I work with all the alternative growth measures, both the portfolio as well as the Universal Reading Screener. And I dabble in the team evaluation with Micah Fager, our Director of Team Training and Support, and she works with all of the team trainings for our administrators and teacher evaluators, as well as our team website. And I'm very excited to share some updates that Micah has made to our team website today. Also on our team is Sarah Brown, and Sarah is gearing up for a big Teacher of the Year program next week to recognize Teachers of the Year. And it's a Sci-Fi event, so we're excited about the work Sarah's doing around recognition. She's also our communications coordinator. Currently, our team contractor position is open, but hopefully that'll be filled soon. In today's meeting, we are going to look at your district administrator access in the platform TNPortfolio. I'm also going to share with you the resources we have available for you, your next steps, and how you can find support. So we're going to jump right into your district administrator access. Our new platform is called TNPortfolio, and this PowerPoint will be on the team website later at the end of the day, so you can access the login to TNPortfolio right here from this PowerPoint. You will have your district administrator access tomorrow. So after this training, we'll get this information loaded up, and then tomorrow you'll be able to start logging in through this link. The look of TNPortfolio is a little different, so I'm going to slow down and walk you through what this looks like when you log in. Your view is a little different than what teachers will see when they log in. This first page is the page that everyone will see. You will notice here there's a blue box that says log in with your TDOE SSO account. So you will need your SSO account information to log into the platform, both you and your teachers. When you click on this, it will take you to a login page that looks like this, where you sign in. In some cases, you might see where you can click on it, but if not, you're going to sign in with your tneducation.net email, whatever that is. Here in this example, I just put the @tneducation.net for your visual purposes, but that's where you'll put in your SSO account information. After you do that, then you'll get your password page, and here is where you put in your SSO password. Once you enter that, then you will have access to the platform. When you log in and you put in that password, make sure that you see this icon on the top left that says District Administrator. That is the role you have in this platform, and this is the page you will see when you get in. Currently, your teachers are not in. Keep in mind, teachers will not have access to this platform until after our rostering process is over. Next month in September, we will walk through how to roster your teachers. We will also have that information up on the team website. So currently, only the district administrators will have access. When teachers log in, they will not see this page. Their page will be very similar to what they saw in Portfolio. But next month, we will go through that training for you to train your teachers. Today, we're going to focus just on what you have access to. Once your teachers are in the platform, you will see them down here, and there will be more information. Currently, you'll see these three tabs. You'll see a Reports tab, a View Teacher Submission tab, and a Manage Your Teacher Collections and Rubrics tab. And like I said, right now, that's all you'll see. There's no information yet for your teachers. The teachers are not in the platform until after we roster. Every month during our office hours, just like we have done in previous years, I will take you through the trainings as needed as we progress through that portfolio implementation cycle. And as data is available, I will train you on what you can see. What's most important right now is that you all do try tomorrow to click on that TNPortfolio link, get in, log in, make sure you do know your SSO information, and make sure you can see that district administrator icon in that top left-hand corner. We have some great new resources. And as I said in the introduction, Micah has taken charge of our team website and she's done some really nice things. I would like for you to notice that over here on the Student Growth Portfolio tab, we do have a different drop-down visual. So the first thing you'll see is the TNPortfolio tab for the platform. So we have lots of information on that tab. The portfolio teacher guidance is still the same that we went over last month. It's just in a different location from last month's slides. The student growth portfolio tab, I do want to show you that. It will now take you to a drop down of all of the portfolio models. Here to the right, when you hover over that, it's a different look, but it's the exact same pages that we covered in last month's office hour. You will notice coming soon, there is a page called the Portfolio Peer Review. Currently, this page is not updated, but as we get information for the 24-25 peer review, that will go on this page. I want us to look today at the platform page. I have put here on the slide your district administrator manual. It's right here. You can click directly on this link, but you will also find on this page that we have a row called specifically for you as portfolio leads with your resources. So you can also click on your manual here. That link will be live soon, most likely at the end of today. So this manual will also walk you through with screenshots of all the things that you will have access to in our new platform. The things that we need to be working on next, we have several next steps. So I'm going to go through these one at a time. First, we want you to go to the platform, TNPortfolio. So click on that link and make sure you can log in with your SSO account. If you need support with your SSO account, we do ask that you start by reaching out to your EIS coordinators. Your EIS coordinators have information to how to help you with your SSO account. If you are in a charter or maybe possibly in a district and you don't know that if you have an SSO account, your EIS coordinator will also be able to help you with setting up an SSO account if you don't have one. We also want to make sure that you have met with your portfolio teachers. We want all the portfolio teachers to know that they are indeed implementing a portfolio and that they are aware of all the resources we have for them on the team website. And you're going to be rostering them next month. So we want to make sure that they are getting started and that they are working on their point A's. So you can take them directly to this link. That's the teacher portfolio guidance page. And be sure you're working with your teachers that they are starting those point A's assessments. It's very important that they are getting started and they're thinking about their standards before they get into the platform, that they know what standards they are assessing and what and how they are to assess those point A's. It's also critical that they have looked at these portfolio teacher resources because there are many requirements for student work, and we want to get in front of that before teachers start collecting point A's. Work with those EIS coordinators in your district and make sure that all of your teachers have accurate credentials for their SSO. So what that means is that the email that is connected to the SSO when that SSO was created is their current school email. That goes the same for you as district administrators. Make sure that your emails that you currently have are the emails that are connected to your SSO account when it was created. Many of you log in with your SSO to several things with TDOE, and you have tiles. The TNPortfolio page will not be in your SSO tiles. It is a separate link, and you can only go there through this link that we have shared here with you. If you have a teacher that you have found that does not have an SSO account, it's important that your EIS coordinators submit that information and they get an account before they're rostered. So spend this next month checking all things SSO to make sure teachers can get in before you roster them. The teacher rostering guidance information on how to submit your rosters is different this year because we have a new platform. It's not drastically different, but it's a little different template. So that guidance will be on the website in September. And at our office hour, I will walk you through step by step how to complete that roster and submit it to us at Portfolio Questions. If teachers begin asking to get into the platform, we've had a few questions come to Portfolio Questions about teachers trying to access the platform. Remind them teachers do not have access to log into the platform until we have received rosters and have uploaded them all to the platform. We have several things to talk about this for the rest of the school year, but in September, we will focus on that rostering guidance. And then coming up in October is when I will do the training for you to also share with teachers on how teachers access and set up their accounts in the platform. If you have questions about SSO accounts and logging in, please start with your EIS coordinators. Email us at Portfolio Questions with any questions around the portfolio implementation process. These are the emails that our team supports, Team Questions. Most things around educator effectiveness will go to Team Questions. You see here any questions around TN Compass, observations, your growth and achievement measures, evaluation trainings. But if you have questions specific to portfolios, please send those to portfolio.questions@tn.gov. Our team also answers the RV questions and the compensation questions. Sometimes our team gets emails that should be directed to other parts of TDOE. So we want to make sure you're aware who to email. So for any questions around licensures, PDPs, teachers experience, that goes to educator licensure. Any questions around TASL, that goes to our TASL information email. If you have questions around the Universal Reading Screener, and if you're doing the Universal Reading Screener as an alternative growth measure in some of your other grades, tn.universalscreener is the email for that. And then assessment is tned@assessment@tn.gov. I know it covered a lot, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen and pause for Micah to share with us any questions that you may have put in the chat. And if you haven't put questions in the chat, please feel free to do so if you have any questions at this time.
This is recorded and the presentation will be placed on the team website. I did drop that link to office hours in the chat. If after this meeting, it will be posted onto the website. Our first question is, can you go through the process if they need to change the portfolio lead?
Yes, every district has LEA settings in TN Compass districts and charters. And so your evaluation configurator is who I would start with, the person in your district or charter that works with TN Compass who has the access. They have a contacts. The LEA contacts is where all of you who are currently invited and being rostered tomorrow for the platform were named the portfolio lead. So if they name someone incorrectly, they need to edit that as soon as possible. I do check that several times a week. So, but that is where the portfolio leads were named, is in TN Compass in the LEA settings, LEA contacts.
We have a question about if the rubrics changed this year.
Great question. We have 7 models, so I'm going to answer this. Try not to answer this broadly. So for pre-K, K, first and second, your standards did not change at all. The rubrics, if there is a change in the rubrics, it is due to feedback from peer reviewers as well as from you, portfolio leads. So the changes are edits. They're not drastic changes, but I would definitely encourage you to make sure your teachers are using the current rubrics and the current guidance that's on the team website. It will say July 2024. And again, the standards did not change. Some of the language for clarity did change. We did edit. And the math, the wording to some of the math standards changed, but it did not change their meaning. So you might see that looks a little different. If you are implementing in first and second grade, I did notice some of the math. Again, the premise didn't change, the content didn't change, but they worded it where we had to edit a little bit of the rubric. PE, if you are implementing PE portfolio, it is a total redesign and it is completely different. Their standards did change. So if you are implementing PE, be sure they have the most current information off the team website. World language and fine arts did not change standards, and their rubrics are exactly the same.
Right now, LEA Contacts only allows for 1 portfolio lead. If they need additional leads, how do they add additional portfolio leads?
Thank you for that. That's a great question, and I had that today in portfolio questions. The person who is named in TN Compass, that would be the main portfolio lead. If that person emails us at portfolio.questions and requests for an additional portfolio lead to assist them, then I can give that person access to the platform to assist, and they will also get our emails.
We have a couple of questions about SSOs.
Okay.
I did drop in the link to the tn.gov page that gives information about single sign-on accounts. And because we don't deal with those accounts, we would not be able to answer some of these questions. I'm going to read them aloud, and if you're able to answer them, feel free. But you can ask dt.support@tn.gov from that website. In what situation would a teacher not have an SSO account? And where can teachers test their SSO before they have access to the new platform?
And as Micah just said, we are not the SSO team or experts. So from my knowledge, I would encourage you to go to that link that Micah dropped in, as well as your EIS coordinators are going to be your best bet. But from my understanding, some teachers that are in charters, some teachers that are brand new, your EIS coordinator may not have set them up yet. For the most part, I have been told that all teachers have an SSO account. So it should not be very many of them. But if, again, you want to check with your EIS coordinator, they have the list. They know if your teachers have one, and they know how to get them one if they don't. If you've had a teacher come in this year from another district, or maybe in the past few years, you want your EIS coordinator to check to be sure that SSO account, the credentials are with the current email, and they can make those edits. But that information will come from the single sign-on website as well as from DT support.
And like Martha said, start with your EIS coordinators in your district first with your SSO access information, because they're the ones who deal with your EIS information. So start with your questions with them first.
That's right.
We want to know if there is a training for PE that addresses the changes.
There is not a training for the PE. I have been working very tightly with a school health coordinator who is over, her name is Heather, and she is working very closely with our team. The changes to the assessments have not changed much. So the PE teachers, as far as assessing, it's very similar to what they've done in the past. If you're new to TNPortfolio, then it won't be, they won't notice the change. But if you have PE teachers from the past, they will notice that the standards, the wording has changed, and the rubrics have changed completely. But those assessments, where the camera placements, very few of those have changed. I hope that helps. But there is not going to be a training. We are putting everything we have on the team website on the PE page.
Can you address which teachers are exempt from portfolio?
Sure, I'll do a broad answer to that because we are going to be very specific about that in the September meeting. But as you're beginning to help your teachers to know if they're implementing, if whatever model you picked, so for example, if you picked fine arts model for in your district, every fine arts teacher in the district implements a portfolio. Every world language, French and Spanish teacher implements a portfolio. Every PE teacher that teaches second, fifth, sixth, and or seventh and eighth grade implements a PE portfolio. If your district chose pre-K, K, first, and second, any of those four, every pre-K teacher, every kindergarten teacher, every first grade teacher, every second grade teacher implements the portfolio. Now, for all of those teachers, there are some exceptions, and they are in the guidebook. On the Student Growth Portfolio tab, the guidebook that I shared with you at our July office hour, there is a page that will share with you. And for example, if you have a teacher who is going to receive a TVOS score, that's rare, but it could be you have a music teacher who also may teach fifth grade. If they receive a TVOS score, they will be exempt from portfolio because they will not get two individual growth scores. If you have a pre-K teacher that teaches 3-year-olds only, that means no 4-year-olds. If they only have 3-year-olds, they are exempt because the pre-K portfolio is 4-year-old standards. If you have a teacher who is completely SPED, self-contained, only teaches SPED students, they are exempt. If you have a teacher who teaches a mixture of SPED and regular, they are not exempt. So I hope that helps. And we will go through that very carefully at our next month's office hour.
And I may have missed it. Did you talk about PYE and maternity leave?
I did not,
No.
but I can. Teachers at this point in August, they are not PYE yet. So they are rostered and they are portfolio teachers. If a teacher becomes PYE, then that is marked in T Encompass and they will not receive a portfolio score. But we don't anticipate PYE and we don't exempt teachers if they are not currently PYE. So if someone says, I'm going to be on maternity leave in February, am I exempt? The answer is no. Currently, you are a teacher of that grade, and currently you are not PYE. But when it's marked, and you will notice on the resource page, there's a roster verification period in January. And that's usually when teachers have either become PYE because they were hired late or they have left and they're not coming back. But that all happens during roster verification in January.
Can you repeat one more time the special education exemption?
I'm happy to, and I'll say it very slowly. Teachers implement the portfolio. So it's not about the students be in special ed. If the teacher is completely a special ed teacher where that's all they teach is SPED. Examples: self-contained, a multi-handicap class, an inclusion SPED teacher who goes into several teachers or maybe one or more teachers who only have SPED kids. That's an inclusion SPED teacher. They are exempt. A teacher who has special ed students as well as regular ed students, they are not exempt. So again, it's not the students. SPED kids can be in the portfolio just like regular kids can be in the portfolio. It's not the kids that are not tested, it's the teacher. So the only exempt SPED teachers, self-contained or inclusion teachers who only teach SPED. If they don't teach any regular ed students, they are exempt. If they have a SPED license and they teach both, they are required to submit a portfolio. You're very welcome.
To answer the question about PYE, as far as leave, if their leave amount of time reduces them to below 120 working days, contracted days, then they would qualify for PYE. So if they are not here now and they do not return until January, then they would qualify for PYE.
But you would not mark them PYE until they haven't returned.
Mm-hmm.
Because if something happens and they return next month, they're not PYE. We have on the homepage of the team website under the statute and policy tab, the PYE policy. So there is more guidance around that on the homepage of the team website. Any other questions in the chat?
That's all we have in the chat right now.
Okay,
If you have
Micah,
any,
you want to stop the recording, and then if somebody wants to come off of